Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another installment of Bullsitting on TSWS Gaming. This week, Cal Kestis platforms his way into becoming the rightful heir to the Skywalker legacy. PlayStation struggled to hold on to talent, and we lay our figurative roses at the grave of the briefly reawakened monster that was Xbox. We feared thee for so short a time, but what a glorious time it was. I'm your host, Loke7, and joining me today is Mr. Behind Them Sticks, Ham Solo, and the man that likes games more than anyone alive, Mr. Matt Likes Games. Welcome, fellas.
Hello, sir.
Yo, what
How
up,
are we
brother?
doing? Hey,
Not,
dude. I'm good. I am
I tell you
very
what,
good. But
I'm doing
go
pretty
ahead.
good. Jedi Survivor,
Mhm.
that's something that we're going to be talking about, correct?
Yeah, are you playing it?
Oh man, yeah, we'll get into that.
All right
And
then.
as for anybody that's wondering, Cozy, not sure where she is, and Addict, not sure where he is either. So we were supposed to have those two others on the show today, but not really sure where they actually are. So we're just gonna go on ahead with it.
They
I appreciate
coming.
everybody for coming through. Hit that like button. What up, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's popping in the chat. Hit the like button. Smash it. Smash it. Smash the like button and ring the bell because unlike Microsoft, we won't fumble the acquisition of your precious and finite time. Mr. Matt likes
Mm.
games. What have you been playing this past week?
Dude. Well, I mean, I beat Dead Island 2. That was great. And now I am on to Jedi Survivor. And then very soon it will be Redfall. Thank goodness. But that's what I'm playing right now is Jedi Survivor. In fact, I actually need to put it down because otherwise I'll keep playing it. But I'm here.
All right. The fifth horseman coming in with the sauce. But let me greet everyone. Welcome, Jeremy Brown, fifth horseman, Mr. Joanna Duck. First, as usual, this man is a machine. Won't stop showing up first. Thank you for coming through, bruv. We really appreciate your support consistently. He says, talking about the smash button, the Knicks smash the Cavaliers. Yeah,
Ah!
it's going down. It's
Yeah, shut
going down.
up.
Ah! Ah!
On my on Monday, Han
Jerk.
Solo, I will be delivering this L directly to you, but not just verbally. All right, I've got the whole like bracket that I'm sorting out, and I'm gonna need you to like stamp it all over the screen. Just remove
Oh,
my camera,
it's looking
remove your
bad.
camera. No, for you, it's not
I
looking
know.
good. It is
Yeah,
not
it's not.
looking good, except for Giannis.
The Bucks
Except
are
for
There's the
Giannis.
losing.
Kingdom, Joanna Dark.
Yeah, that was rough, bruv. That was rough. Anyways, Jimmy Butler for the win.
Dude, Jimmy Butler's a dog. He
Yeah,
is a
well,
Yeah,
dog.
demon.
he
He's a
is.
demon.
He's the dog. He's the dog.
He's
Welcome, Silent Cipher. All right, fellas.
yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition deal is still not over, as per analysts. So this is from our dear IGN. Here's a few
Welcome.
quotes. Uh, It was a judgment day yesterday, and UK antitrust regulator gave its verdict against Microsoft's acquisition deal, saying that the acquisition could hinder competition in cloud gaming.
The thing that Loke can't wait
So
to get into.
the whole of Africa and
Texas.
60% of Europe, 60% of Europe and 75% of South America just thirsting because we all have the infrastructure. We all have the infrastructure for cloud gaming. So this for us, this is just like amazing. Obviously,
You don't forget, you
obviously.
Yeah.
guys are just a few years away from complete infrastructure reinnovation. So
My
just a
God,
couple
they
years out. By
just installed
2029, you guys will be rocking.
Right?
2049.
It's gonna be like
2049.
Dubai.
Anyways,
Mhm.
the question for this specific statement is it valid? And since it's just the two of you guys, right? Just jump in whenever you feel. Is it
No.
valid to try and protect a
Oh.
market that doesn't even exist? I'm not even gonna hide this. This is my question. The
Yeah.
market doesn't freaking exist. Is it valid
They're
to
trying
say,
to stamp out a market before it can be what it's supposed to be or what they want it to be. You know, like,
does that make sense?
no. It's dumb. It's so dumb. It's such a dumb thing. And what will tell you that it's dumb, or what proves that it's dumb, is literally everybody in the market. The only person you can, like, it's valid to say that they probably don't like this deal and they probably will never like this deal, besides PlayStation obviously, is Amazon and Google. Because Microsoft, I mean, Google's already out of cloud. They're done with that. But Amazon has Luna, and Microsoft will probably never sign anything with Amazon. Odds are good. But everybody else, from small players to Nvidia, everybody's on board with it. So it's like, and that's all cloud stuff. So to say you're protecting people in the cloud when all they want is for this deal to go through, what are you really doing? You're just making things up.
I mean, to me, I just think that this is a celebratory kind of moment for the CMA, and I thought that that's kind of what they were doing with this situation. Oh crap! Like, after months of deliberation about console gaming, just in a few weeks, I dissected cloud gaming.
Yeah.
And gave it to you on a platter and told you that this is insufficient. And then you're saying this is bad for, like, competition for other businesses. Like who? Nvidia, the ones that signed a deal with them?
Side note,
Who?
I hate the way you say Nvidia.
Nvidia, whatever.
There you go.
Nvidia. It just rolls out of the tongue.
I don't
As
sound
K
like
Mega
that. This
says, "Let
guy.
me be country." All right. So
Oh Lord.
um,
And then I'm the Texan.
yes,
All right.
you
True.
are. Yes, you are.
True.
Because
Very
you
true.
still
You are.
Man,
recognize
just
the
put me on
words.
my
You still
side.
recognize these words. So you know what I'm saying because it's your
Well,
native
you're both
tongue.
right here.
But
All right. You know what? Let's get off the side note. Let's carry on. I don't like side notes when I don't take the dub.
That doesn't happen often, but yeah.
Go ahead
going.
and finish your point.
yeah,
I think you're muted.
no,
Okay,
no,
okay.
I'm not muted. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I was just reading a message somebody gave me.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just kind of. I think this is their one thing that they kind of got that they know they can possibly stifle this or really slow it down. In my opinion, I still think they're. I know. I mean, I get stuck doing this kind of stuff all the time, but in my opinion, I still think there is a really good chance for Microsoft to figure this out. But
For sure.
it's just really weird because everybody had thought that this was like everybody was like professionals were saying that this is a done deal pretty much, like all the way up until the stock markets got shook.
All
Once
the way up to the money shot and then glitch.
Yeah, the stock markets, started to look a little different.
And then it all went
Activision was trending
south.
down, Microsoft was trending up, and the deal was out. so,
Mm.
so I don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack, but I mean, I don't know all the fine details. I'm just going based off of what I see.
Oye, buenas tardes, Xbox International en español. Fellas are starting on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Please share the exact time Xbox International en Español, EST, and also Central African time. So for some of us in Texas. Real quick in the chat, Fifth Horseman says, I wouldn't be so sure about that. So sure about what specifically? Then Jeremy Brown says, that's like saying you love your unborn child more than the kid you have now. Honestly, it's giving those vibes. It's giving those vibes. And I kind of see it. I kind of see the point that they're making because it's just like the people that saw Bitcoin before it blew up. Crypto will eventually, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, it will eventually replace the fiat system. And cloud gaming will replace what we have now with console gaming or even PC gaming. Cloud is going to become like 80% of how we play because it's already become 80% of how we consume everything else, movies, music, etc. Okay, so to assume that our precious video games would not fall prey to the trend that's already affecting every other entertainment industry would be disingenuous. So it will happen. Cloud will become the main platform. I'm just saying why we're making decisions on future uh, future trends or establishments. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm crazy. Welcome, Lord Addict.
Oh, what's going on? I didn't know you guys had like a lock thing. I was waiting for someone to join the Discord because I was sitting there alone.
Nah, man. It gets rowdy. It gets rowdy. You know what? It's because of Matt. Matt joined us, and then suddenly, like a whole bunch of like fangirls joined, and then started jumping into the open channel. So we had
Oh
to
my
create like
goodness.
a closed channel. All right. So
That's
that's why
that is
why
what
we're stuck.
happened. That is what
Yeah,
happened.
that's why we're stuck here. It was specifically like 6 or 7 chicks. They would always do it because
Yep.
Matt's now on it. The Fifth Horseman says he said they wouldn't do a deal with Amazon. Okay. So Horseman disagrees with your take on Microsoft not making a deal with Amazon.
Well, I said that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
Matt. Oh, Superman's in. Welcome, Superman. Welcome, Sour Blow. A little bit crazy, but yeah, we get what you're saying, Look. All right. Lord Addict, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Yes, sorry, I'm
we've
late
got
again.
we've
I
got the
honestly
same
did not
headphones.
know that you guys were sitting in like a hidden chat.
I didn't know it was hidden. I thought it was able to
Yeah,
be
I thought
No,
it was
seen.
visible.
according to your Discord, there was no one in the Discord, so I was like, maybe it was canceled. I was looking on Twitter and I didn't see
Yo,
nothing.
Yeah, that bullshitting
we
thing
need to fix that.
is hidden because like I'll join
It's
sometimes and go
hidden?
right to the lobby.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll go right
wow.
to the lobby and then you have to
Never
add
We need
mind.
me.
to sort that
So
out. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we'll sort that out. Lord Addict, we'll reintroduce the topic after we do with the usual ceremonial stuff, which is to ask you a couple of questions, just so everyone can get a feeler for who you are, what you're into, what you're not into. You know, we're really into safe words on TSWS and consent. So, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Lord Addict. First off, welcome to TSWS Gaming. We are happy to have you on. It is an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. So the first question is, what? Okay, and there's no sitting on the fence. All right, so no saying that you don't have an answer, and no picking several answers. We need you to pick one. All right. So what is the best video game of all time?
Mm,
You gonna say Zelda? Watch.
I'd have to say Fallout 3 or New Vegas.
Oh,
New Vegas. I'll say
That's
New
not a
Vegas.
bad choice. That's not bad.
I really expected him to say Zelda. I literally just got
Alright.
done watching him play Zelda not that long ago. I think which one
Which
was
one?
it? Was on like
Ocarina
64?
of Time.
Man,
Yeah, it was Ocarina of Time. I was playing on the Switch.
he was flying through it like he knew it off the back of his hand, and it was insane.
How many times have you finished Ocarina of Time?
Probably 30, 40 times.
Jesus.
Damn. Dedication.
I haven't
Um,
played like the older temples in a while, so probably when I start those, it's gonna be a little bit. But like the first 3 temples of Zelda, I've probably beaten them 100+ times. But as far as like the Sun Temple, well, they call it the Light Temple. Some of the Shadow Temple, some of that stuff's a little vague, but for the most part, I can get through the whole game in a couple hours.
okay,
Damn.
okay. Let's back up a bit. Let's rewind. Power replay, everyone. Lord Acting, how many times have you finished Zelda Ocarina of Time?
30, 40 times.
Jesus Christ. I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan. I've never finished
Well, you can't
30
finish because
times.
that's like there's not enough time in a person's lifetime to do
Oh,
that.
shut it.
Watching all
Shut
those
it.
cutscenes, it's
This is
not
Lord
realistic.
Addict. You know what? All right, fine. Let me prove my point. Lord Addict, what is your opinion on the Metal Gear Solid franchise?
I'm not a fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, come on. I
Like
Eat
mean,
it,
any of them.
Loke. Eat it.
like, come on.
I'd rather take some pliers and pull my teeth out instead of play those games.
Thank you.
Let him know.
It's like outside of Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5, that gameplay is just I'd rather do anything else. Anything else, actually.
I mean, I'll acknowledge how like the gaming industry needed the Metal Gear Solid franchise, but I don't need the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Like,
Sure. Yeah. I'm with that. Look, you just come on, Look. Let's get going, Look. Come on. You got it. I believe in you, bud.
He's disheveled.
He's super upset. He's very upset.
um,
That's fine too.
Lord Addict, what is the best console of all time?
I'd actually have to say the N64. Like, I don't know why a lot of people
Ooh.
don't like that console, but I enjoyed a lot about that console. I think that's like when I first started playing, Zelda to that degree. Because I played the older ones on the other systems, like the SNES and the NES. But it's that Ocarina of Time, and then I played Majora's Mask. I remember like the Super Smash Brothers franchise originated from that console. Like, it has the best memories, that and probably the GameCube.
Okay.
Let's go to the chat. let's go to the chat for 2 minutes, real quick.
Look's
Mr.
still
John Duck
reeling.
says, I am leaving the show. How do you allow this slander? Kojima ships complete games.
He ships complete
Silent,
movies.
Silent. Okay. Silent Cipher says, Lord Addict, did you know that Luke 7 wants Kojima's baby? Okay. Superman,
Bro.
Metal Gear revolutionized stealth. Kersante, welcome. Also, buzz off. Um,
Oh, what'd he say? I'm gonna see this.
he said nothing. He said
Oh, his
nothing.
speechless.
No, he
No,
told
he's
Matt to
right.
go ahead and speak the truth.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Keisante. Thank you very much, sir.
Right. Lord Addict. N64. Okay, what's the best current console? So it has to be between the PS5, Xbox Series X or S, or the Switch. The Steam Deck's not a console.
So I have to choose one. I kind
Quit
of like
saying
you're
Yes.
kind
that.
of breaking up there.
So if you're going to an island for a month and you can take only one of these 3 platforms, which one are you taking?
okay, do I get to take all the games on every
Yeah, yeah,
platform?
yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah. All the games.
what kind of TV am I taking on this island?
Oh my goodness, what's happening right now?
You are taking the best TV available on planet
Oh, it's
Earth.
gonna be it's gonna be a console. I'm not taking that Steam Deck anywhere. Like, thing's gonna die in 20 minutes. Like, I'm taking
15,
It's a good
maybe.
I
point.
can sit
It's
down
a
and
good
actually
point.
play. Hopefully beside like some source of water, because I'm gonna be thirsty, I assume. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna play a game on a console. Because here's the thing, like the Switch, the Switch, I'm gonna get bored eventually, because they only release games that I like every so often, like Zelda coming up. Eventually, I'm gonna get through those. But at least if I play like on the Xbox Series X or S, I have all the Xbox One generation, a lot of the 360 generation, some of the original Xbox generation. I actually got stuff to play. I take that Switch, I'll be bored in a month.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the
so are
Steam
you
Deck's
saying the best
probably
current console? Are you saying the best current console is the Series X?
no, I would recommend a PlayStation 5 to people right now.
No, no,
Because
no, no, not to people. This is not about people.
you
This is
said the
about
best. I would recommend the best.
Lord Addict is going to an island for a month, and he can only take one console. Which one is Lord Addict taking?
Yeah, what's best
It
for
would
you?
be a Series X in that case. If we in
What?
society, it'd be a PlayStation 5. But if I'm going to an island, perhaps never to be seen again, I'm gonna take something I actually have access to the majority of the games that I can think of. Like, you take a PlayStation, you're gonna play PS5, PS4 games. I think it would go the Series X, then the Steam Deck, because I feel like you'd have access to a lot of games through that. Then a PlayStation, then a Switch. That's the order I would take to an island. Now, if and plus you got to think like durability. Like, I'm gonna be on an island, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a Series X is pretty much indestructible. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a lot for that thing to take some damage. I dropped
Yeah.
my PlayStation 5 once and bent the little column thing that's on it. So it's like, look, like I think the Xbox would last longer there too.
Yeah. Just built better.
Okay. Okay. The Lord Addict, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. So, Lord Addict, finally, can you share with us your story, your gamer, or just your story about how you became who you are in the community, and even just how you fell in love with gaming?
So I started back in 2014, and I was looking into getting into a little bit of YouTube stuff, and then I like, obviously, I think before I went in, I actually was looking up videos of games, and I came across Broken Game HD. And I remember, like, back when he was in like looked like he's in a hotel with two beds behind him and like some posters behind him. And I remember like losing track of that channel for a long time. And then when I started like, wanting to make videos on YouTube, I went back to look for those videos, and I found like Anchorman, found a lot of the, Darius King is a lot, Rise and Grind. A lot of these people don't make content anymore. Found Kid Smooth, even though he needs to stay off Twitter. But
God damn.
yeah, we won't get
God
into that. But
damn.
yeah, so I
Woo.
found all
Yeah.
those channels, and Anchorman got me into that direct community, and then it ended up like side rolling. I was on the original Weapon Wheel, which was called Nothing But Shots. That was like 2 or 3 years before Weapon Wheel, and then that stopped. And then went through like a couple organizations. I remember there's like We Game Heroes, one of them. Something else. There's another organization I can't remember. And then that went into like some kind of, eventually somehow ended up in a party with Anchorman Incognito. And then that ended up me making Halo maps with Sinister. And then I ended up playing more games with Sinister and Incognito. And then eventually, after about a year and a half to 2, we played I remember Destiny. I used to talk so much smack about Destiny. And Cog was like, put your money where your mouth is. Because I remember my brother just got that Assassin's Creed bundle. Remember Black Flag and Unity together?
Mm-hmm.
It was an Xbox Assassin's Creed bundle. And I remember giving that bundle to Cog, and he gifted me Destiny. Because he's like, if you're going to keep talking smack, you're going to at least try it. And then, like, 600 hours later of Destiny, or there's a gun in there called the Gallahorn, and people would get really mad at you if you got it back in those days. And I remember getting it for like the 3rd time and just feeling the hate in the party just surround me.
Is it difficult to get it?
Yeah, and then after we played a lot more Destiny, we decided to make a podcast, revolved around Destiny. That was the Iron Lords podcast. And then after a certain amount of time, we started running out of topics, and we started getting a little bit of a following. But they're like, "Yo, I like the energy you guys give, but I just don't like Destiny." So we made a podcast called the Iron Lords Gaming, and that was something different than the Iron Lords podcast. But after a couple, I would say after about 3 or 4, because we were doing the Iron Lords podcast and Iron Lords Gaming. We just stopped doing Iron Lords podcast, Iron Lords Gaming. We just put them all under one umbrella. And then 6-7 years later, here we are with the Iron Lords podcast.
Chilling.
Nice.
All right. When you were speaking, I had an epiphany. One of my favorite movies is Brown Sugar, and it's about hip hop and the love for hip hop. And I'm officially going to bite one of the best phrases in that movie, and I'm going to start doing it with you specifically. So when I asked you about your journey as a gamer, you gave me the content creator side, which I appreciate. But TSWS is about the gaming side. So my question, to be more specific, Lord Addict, how did you fall in love with gaming?
I would actually have to say it was like the original Final Fantasies that got me into gaming. I remember Fable got me into the Xbox ecosystem. A lot of people got into it with Halo, but I got into it with Fable, the original Fable. I didn't get a 360 until Fable 2 came out. I remember seeing my friend Nathan play Fable 2 on his Xbox 360, and then I was like, yeah, it's a wrap. I got to get that. But I think Final Fantasy, I remember in the PlayStation 1 days, like convincing because I knew I was good at talking, but it was getting my mom to the store to talk her into buying me stuff was the issue. And I remember like going buy something, and the Final Fantasy 8 was right there, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I haven't really got a game in a long time. I remember getting that game and doing the opening cutscene where they're pretty much like a D-Day scenario, but on the other side, and you're going in with these ships, and they're putting them up on the beach. And I remember like being so wowed by what this game looked like at the time.
Okay. So Fable did. Final Fantasy did it.
It was the biggest reason that I got into gaming in general was Final Fantasy. I would say
That's a
there's
unique one.
there's factors because Zelda was definitely there. I definitely played a lot of Zelda.
Mario?
I remember,
Mario? No.
Mario got like my feet wet when it come to gaming, but I wouldn't say it was so captivating me watching Mario or playing Mario where I felt like I wanted to play Mario by myself. Like going to someone's house, I felt like I got enough Mario that I need to do it at my house, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it does. That does.
Okay.
I'll say Super Smash Brothers did it more than Mario did.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fair.
All right. Yeah, it's 2D fighter. Yeah, sure. It's pretty good. Okay, so just to bring you up to speed to what we were talking about before you jumped in, we were speaking specifically about Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal that some analysts say is not completely dead. So the first quote here from IGN says that it was Judgment Day yesterday, and the UK antitrust regulator gave its verdict against Microsoft's acquisition deal, saying that the acquisition could hinder competition in cloud gaming specifically. What is your take on this justification? Does it make sense? Is it out of pocket?
I think it makes more sense if you look at it from like the grand scheme of things. Like Call of Duty is a very huge tool that you can use to your disposal, and if you are able to have that, because Microsoft's been doing a lot of cloud infrastructure, and I think they're getting to the point where they can actually full blown take on cloud gaming. But I would say it's definitely in its infancy stage, and I think having something like Call of Duty at your core, because think about like cloud gaming. The biggest issue that especially us like hardcore gamers have is like latency and stuff. Like if Microsoft's able to like completely remedy that, and they have something like Call of Duty where you could play Call of Duty 1-for-1 in a subway, I can see a little bit more on their concerns with it. I still think that it's kind of bizarre to punish Microsoft for building another company that's in cloud disputing that they're using to do this. But to me, it's like equivalent to Microsoft can't compete because Spider-Man and all the MCU, and they had the Spider-Man license, they were able to leverage that for a Spider-Man game. It's like, but that's what Sony did. They fought for those licenses. They were able to get those licenses early, so it helped them later on. And to me, even though that their points are valid to a point, because I do think there is a little bit of concern when it comes to cloud distribution, like until I see more competition, you can't really say competition's not there, because you can't really say it's gonna like stop competition because it's not really there. Like you don't really see Luna doing stuff. Stata's done. Sorry.
The second part of the question is this is it fair to protect a market when the so-called competitors are electing? No one has stopped them till today. They are self-electing not to actively take part in the so-called arms race in this specific market. No one is putting in all this effort that Microsoft's putting in, but for some reason it's Microsoft's fault that they want to put in all the effort.
Well, I think it's just politics at that point. I think Sony has a lot of friends in that type of area. I think after a certain amount of time where they continuously try to fight, the merger shouldn't happen because of Call of Duty, because of this. They just went back to the only argument they ever really had was cloud. So I think that's literally what it's about. It's like, look, we can't stop you from the perspective of Call of Duty is going to make it to where we can't compete. But what we can do is go to a genuine concern that actually could exist, which is cloud computing, and try to stop it there. I think it's like interesting that, Michael Pachter, regardless how, if you feel like he's right or wrong all the time, apparently there might be conversations about, we'll let this happen if they never raise Game Pass prices. And I'm like, but I thought it was cloud computing that was the issue. Like,
dude, 1 minute it's cloud computing, 1 minute it's raising the prices, and then I saw another analyst from The Verge talking about the problem is that Microsoft wanted 100% of the revenue from Activision's sales on all the other platforms. I'm like, bro, what are they supposed to want? They bought, in this fictitious future, you buy Activision Blizzard, you let other people sell it on their platforms, and you're not supposed to take the profits? Where does that make sense? Why are you paying 70 billion? And then you're like, no, you guys take the profit.
Sony a percentage?
That's the thing. It's like the reward. Let's say for Nvidia, because I would assume that is also the deal with Nvidia, with Boosteroid, any of these companies who signed that deal with Microsoft. It's like the draw for those companies is drawing people into your service. You get now you're getting people monthly in your service because Call of Duty's there. And for like Nvidia and Boosteroid and all these other ones, they just signed one last night as well. I forget the name of the place, but they just signed that one. It's like not only getting Call of Duty and all the Activision titles, you're now also getting all the Xbox titles in your service. It's like that's the draw. It's like people are signing up for your service. You're now getting a bigger monthly fee every month from more subscribers because they can play those games now. It's like you're not going to make money off of those games though, and in the traditional sense, like sales, but you will make tons of money off subscribers. That's the deal, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know, but it seems like that would be the draw.
Ham, you want to chime in on this one?
I mean, I'm literally exhausted from talking about it all the time.
Oh, it's still small, bruv.
But
Yeah, it's still small.
but I tell you what, man, like it's just in my opinion, when I look at what's all going down, it's just like it seems like every avenue that Xbox tries to go down, they just put up a dead end sign and say, "Oh, this is a dead end right here. Oh, this is another dead end," and they're like, "Hold on, like it's." And I said this earlier. It seemed like everything was great and whatnot, and then and it was just weird that in just a few weeks they were able to pull out this so-called big situation when they were doing something else months prior. I mean, it just seemed like, oh man, like we're gonna find anything and just nix it as fast as possible. Um, and it also seems like they're trying to get in front of, the EU decision as well, just to make sure that they got some standards in place. So maybe maybe they might follow suit or like the concerns that they have and kind of back them up on it. That's kind of my opinion on
All right. So, exploring further into the article, UK CMA doesn't get the final word on the deal, but its ruling does play a significant role in the future of this proposed 69 billion with the B acquisition. Speaking to Bloomberg, senior analyst, antitrust litigation analyst Jennifer Ree, I don't know, said that overturning their decision could take years, even if Microsoft manages to pull that off. Lord Addict, would you be okay with waiting 5 years and every few weeks having to discuss or
Dear
having to
God.
chime in on this acquisition? Because anyone that's done any light reading will see that the CMA has a 95% conviction rate when it comes to stopping deals, especially when they officially block them off. But also on the other side, Microsoft is known for going 15 years when they really want something. So do you think 5 years is a realistic target, and would you be okay with that as a consumer or, and even as a content creator?
I think that first off, we ain't talking about this 5 years. Okay, if they decide to go to court, that's on them. But me and Cog, we have a rule. Unless there's something big with the CMA and with this whole acquisition, we ain't talking about it. Unfortunately, we've been talking about a lot here lately because there's been a lot of big, stuff going on with them.
Developments, yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about it tomorrow because the CMA, they blocked it. But I still think there's a glimmering hope for Microsoft. It's just not that big. I think the best ideal they have of winning this acquisition is to make sure the ECU and the FTC go through. Because I feel like if they all go through, they'll have a lot more bargaining chips with the CMA. Oh, look, the whole world has approved this, but you. I think they could strong arm them a lot better if they had that. But if the FTC or the EU pull out, or if they block it, it's a wrap. I think Microsoft will bend the knee if that happens. I don't think they'll fight it. I think if the FTC, because it's one thing, you could go toe to toe with the this is man, what's their name again? The
CMA.
Which
CWA,
one?
CNA. But the thing is
Yeah.
like, all right, take them to court. That's one entity. And I think one of the biggest bargaining chips Microsoft has, they would never do. It's like, look, if everyone's approved this, but you haven't. So if you don't think about this and reverse your decision, what we're going to do is we're going to pull all Microsoft products off of your market. And I think that would be a lot more of a bargaining chip. But as far as like this, it's like if the EU or the FTC cancel it and they block it, it's a wrap. I find it very, very unlikely that Microsoft will be willing to go toe to toe with multiple governments over this. I think it's over if that don't happen.
So I got a
I-
question
I-
for the panel,
Go
real
ahead.
quick. I'm wondering at what level do you think Microsoft has taken the gloves off at this point? Do you think that they taken one glove off and is slapping with it? Do you think they're taking the gloves
they're
off
punching
and
now.
cracking knuckles? Or do you think they're grabbing the stick and going outside? Like,
Ham
what
Solo,
level of frustration do you think that they're
I'm
at right
I'm about to hurt some feelings.
now?
Microsoft ain't punching nobody. The most they will do is kick and whine, but nothing will get done. You know why? I don't remember when, but it was a couple of years ago. Remember, Microsoft is an American company. A couple of years ago, they had a big stink with the US government, and people were talking about they took our jobs because Microsoft up and took their holdings to freaking Dublin, Ireland. Microsoft, the heart and soul of Microsoft financially, because of taxes and all that, is in the UK. They might as well be an English company. So even if the whole world says this deal can go forward and the CMA says no, unless Microsoft is willing to move to another tax haven that is as stable, not only financially, but also in terms of infrastructure, they're screwed. They're not going anywhere. If they go to places like America or I don't know, freaking Norway, where they tax people properly, where they tax the rich properly, or at least more than they tax in Ireland, Dublin, it's billions. It's billions that they need to start spending. And there's no company, even the $1 trillion company that it has more money than everyone else. There's no company that actively wants to spend more money just so they can put Call of Duty in front of Ham Solo. It's not even about Xbox anymore. It's about Microsoft.
I
So,
feel you. That's
to
a good,
your
that's a good
specific
argument.
to your specific question, Ham Solo, about are they about to crack them now? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Microsoft
I'm
ain't
just
gonna
curious.
do nothing.
So what you're telling me is they just
Nothing.
took off the hand, the glove, and is slapping with it.
No, dude, they didn't even take out the glove and smack them, because even that might get them in trouble. What they did was they frowned, but they didn't even frown facing the CMA. They turned to the side and then they made Activision frown to the CMA. They didn't frown themselves.
I don't
Activision
know.
are
Brad
the ones
Smith
who have
did say
people.
some really interesting stuff about
No,
Microsoft
no.
and being in England.
Words. What was actually
Doesn't
done?
I mean, no one's gonna literally go hit somebody Look, these are
No,
these are all
no,
these are
no,
all going to be words. It's all this whole
no,
deal is
no.
words.
When you talk about cracking, when you talk about cracking knuckles and stuff, we're in the figurative plane, right? So I'm talking about their version of swinging back or whatever will be actually making some moves, looking for alternative uh, hubs to move Microsoft to. They're not going to find a better option, especially in the short term, to island Dublin. It's not going to happen. So for now, all they're doing is acting a bitch, but they're not packing their clothes. They're not taking the car out. They're not taking the kid. They're not doing nothing. They're just pouting. So to your question, I'm Solo, relax. Anyone that's out there talking about Microsoft about to leave the UK, no. That's it for me.
All right, continue.
All right. So Ampere analyst Piers Harding Rolls. Now that is a surname. Harding Rolls. Piers Harding Rolls tweeted about the duration as well. He believes Microsoft won't be able to get the CMA appeal closed within the year. So Lord Addict, at least 12 months. Harding Rolls told the BBC that Microsoft still has a chance to win the appeal, but the CMA has a track record of winning such appeals. There are some analysts who believe this is not the end of the Activision Blizzard deal saga. Michael Pachter told GameSpot that Microsoft can win this appeal through two remedies. So one of those would be to carve out Game Pass in the UK and keep all Activision Blizzard off of the service. Another remedy would be to commit that they will keep the price of Game Pass at the current price, plus no more than the rate of inflation, 2 to 3% per year for the next 10 years.
Tell me how I want them to do that. Yeah, go ahead. Do that. Do that, Microsoft. Agreed. Never raise Game Pass under no circumstances unless it's inflation. Let's do that. If you want that deal so bad, do that. That's the
You think
best
Microsoft
one
to say
right
no?
there.
You think
Oh yeah,
Microsoft to say no
obviously.
to that? Come on.
Oh yeah, they're not doing that.
No,
I mean, but it would be cool. But it would be cool. Like them to.
It'd be really cool.
I'd like them to.
that'd be fucking awesome. Hey man, hey. Lord Addict. I'm not sure if you watch TSWS, but we're not sitting here talking about, oh no, we're balling. We're trying to support the devs. We're trying to spend as much money as
No.
possible with video games. Nah, man.
Give me a deal.
No.
Give me a deal.
So, meanwhile, Activision released a strong statement saying that the CMA did a, and I quote, disservice to UK citizens who face increasingly dire economic prospects. Jesus. Are people in the UK so broke they can't buy Call of Duty? Are you serious right now?
Well, they're not lying. Considering what's the problem over there right now in the UK? It's like the electric. It's like tons of money per month to just have electric in your house, which
Really?
is like
it is expensive. I just got done being on a podcast with some gentlemen from the UK yesterday, and one dude was telling me that he spends about £600 a month on electricity. And he's like, yo, I got a big family, but this is still pretty bad. And I was like, yeah, that's
a lot of money.
really
Wow.
freaking bad.
Wow. Like I have
Damn near
AC
a
on.
mortgage.
I have AC on almost every day in my place, and roughly, I think I spend like
Texas is hot.
$100. I think I spend Texas is hot than a mother, and I think I spend $100 a month on electricity.
Yeah,
That's wild.
plus I think a lot of it determines on how your house is actually built too. I know people that use the exact same amount of electricity as me, but our house is built a little bit better for like temperature and stuff, so we don't have to use as much.
Lord
There's
Addict,
a lot of factors. Huh?
I'm not in Texas. I'm not actually in Texas. It is a joke.
Oh,
Okay, I
yes.
live in Mozambique. It's in
Texas.
Southern
I
Africa.
don't know.
in Texas.
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you right now. I'm not in Texas. Don't listen to these two. Pay
This
attention
man's
to
a
the chat.
liar.
The
This
chat
man
will
is a
tell you the
liar.
truth. Oh, shut the fuck up. The chat will tell you the truth. I live in Mozambique, Southern Africa. I am an
The chat
actual
will tell
African.
you the truth.
Yeah,
The
let
chat
them
will
know,
tell you the
chat.
truth.
Hashtag let 'em know.
Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray says life in the UK is crap right now. Damn. Okay.
Eggs alone are $15 a
Also,
carton.
okay. Also, Vinny says I can see Microsoft leaving the UK. CMA wants Microsoft to hide
Benny,
their PP behind their legs. Look, Microsoft could leave the UK. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I'm saying it's not going to happen in the short to medium term. Oh my God. Uso says Mozambique, Southern Texas. Osha
yep.
says LMAO is in Texas. Okay, you know what? Don't listen to anyone, Lord Addict. I am an African. I am in Africa right now. All right,
I mean, you
believe me.
got this one guy saying one thing and everyone else saying another thing. Who are you gonna believe? Come on.
I don't know who to believe, man.
Dude, you think this accent is fake? Lord Addict, do you think my accent is
I
fake?
don't know, man.
think
You
I'm
might be an actor. Who knows?
exactly.
Oh
You could
my
be an actor.
God. Oh my God.
He,
Guys, I am okay, this is not funny anymore. This is not funny anymore.
Idris
This guy's gonna
Idris Elba
tell
was
all
on the
his friends.
wire.
He's gonna tell all his friends, Ham, that I'm freaking in Texas. Come on, dude.
I mean,
Idris Elba was on the wire. You've heard how he talks
so you're saying he's
normally,
telling his friends the truth. That's fine.
right? Come on.
You know
Let's
what?
move on,
Fuck
Lou.
this.
Let's move on.
Let's move the hell
Yeah,
on.
let's move on.
Oh God.
Get it going.
So the Activision said that they did a disservice to UK citizens who face increasingly dire economic prospects. I can't picture it. I'm sorry. I can't picture it. And even added that the UK is clearly closed for business. Activision says it'll work aggressively with Microsoft for the appeal. So this is where we speculate, because I'm going to speculate first, and then you guys can tell me if I'm crazy and come up with your own speculations. This type of speech is not like random, in my opinion. I think this is calculated. This is on purpose. When you say you're going to work aggressively with Microsoft, I don't believe they're only going to work aggressively on an appeal. I think Activision at this point is sitting and thinking sitting with Microsoft, like, where do our commitments end with Sony? Like, when can we cut them off specifically? Is it specifically on the 24th of May 2026, for example? And then as soon as that cutoff date arrives, it will be essentially as if Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. That is me speculating. I have no sources. No one said anything to me. Am I crazy?
I'd agree with you. I actually feel like for the most part business could be the same. But I've said this a couple times, like when it comes to like negotiating Call of Duty marketing deals, they're gonna go in there and be like, well, how much do you guys want? It's like, we want $90 billion. Like it's like, oh, you can't give us $90 billion. Don't worry.
Let's go to Xbox.
Microsoft gave us a McDouble from McDonald's and a fry, and we gave it to them.
God damn.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like you can't go and do. People think that people don't realize what Sony did. Sony literally caused so much commotion over the money that Microsoft was giving Activision to buy them that it completely threw off the whole deal. Like I'm convinced that they would have shut up, the deal would have went through. And even if it didn't, even if it was completely something other, I feel like Activision's still going to blame Sony. And I think it's going to be one of those situations where they're like, look, like, you're still going to get Call of Duty, but you're never going to have another marketing deal from us ever again. And people's like, oh, they ain't going to do that because of business. Here's the thing. Sony, they didn't make the developers mad. The people they made mad are the ones that make the decision.
Yes.
They're the ones that was going to get giant checks from this deal, this selling deal, all the executives, all the board members.
Bobby
they're the ones that was pissed off.
Yeah.
It's
These
like, you know,
motherfuckers
I
had
wouldn't be.
yachts lined up. They had private islands that they were offering to their girlfriends. Dude, it all went like poof.
I've look, I've been
Here's
telling
a good
people. A lot of people
analogy.
have been saying, "Ha ha ha, Xbox," but this is more trouble for Activision than it is Xbox,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the reality of the situation. I would not be surprised if you see the kind of relationship that Sony and Square Enix have, if
Mm.
Microsoft and Activision develop that type of relationship after
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Or if it
Yeah.
becomes a
And it's going to be
situation.
that way for a long time, at least to look. Is it going to eventually change? Yeah, when the leadership of Activision changes, it could have happened
Mm.
soon. Yeah, but here's the thing: like, just because there might be leadership change eventually, guess who's going to take them? Other people like Lulu on Twitter
Lord,
that is upset over the deal.
imagine Lulu is suddenly a CEO or something, operations manager. Lord, have mercy.
That'd be pretty baller. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, you're looking forward to that one, huh, Matt?
I can't wait for
That'll be
that.
fun. That'll be fun for you.
She
Okay,
just
you know
seems
what?
fun.
I'm I'm happy that I don't sound like a fucking unhinged knuckle dragger fanboy, because when I had that idea, I think about people talk about these are not, it's a company, it's not a person. Yes, that is true. But if you're an adult and you've worked in a company, you know that there are situations that occur between company A that you work for, company B that you work either against or in tandem or in competition with, that if the wrong people from these companies rub shoulders and it doesn't work out, suddenly it is a real problem, a real issue. But we're still talking about company A and company B. They shouldn't have emotions. But at the end of the day, each company is run by human beings made of flesh and blood. No matter how much we put just analysis, the decisions aren't just made on analysis and numbers. Because if you do that, you get what you get in Hollywood, which is just rubbish, plastic stuff. There's no real genuine ferocity to it. Okay, so I'm just glad I'm not speculating crazy stuff here. Matt, what is
Yeah.
your big speculation from this statement here?
Well, you pretty much nailed it. I was talking to Ham the other night in a party, and I was like, I have a feeling whether, like, as someone who has all the consoles, PC, and all that stuff, but I prefer Xbox. I have a feeling that whether or not this deal goes through or not, it's a good thing for me. Obviously, if it goes through, it's a good thing because now I don't need to buy Call of Duty again. It's just in the service every year. If I like it, I'll check it out, I'll play it, and that's fantastic. Same, they can possibly bring back IPs that I would like them to bring back. They can actually start being a little bit more creative over there at Activision. Stuff like Diablo
Yeah,
launches into Game Pass. I mean, I'm just saying it's
Matt,
hypotheticals. That's
Matt,
all.
Matt, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right?
No, I
I,
get it.
I,
I get.
I was having an honest reflection about this one, guys.
Yeah.
Rare have so many games in their historic
Yes.
background.
Yes.
They're not making any of them. So
No, you're
I
right.
had to
You're
be
right.
honest with myself as an adult. If Xbox buys Activision Blizzard, there is a high chance that some of us that appreciate games like Tenchu and want to get that made, that's probably not going to happen. It's
No,
probably not going to happen.
I get that, and I totally agree with. But I mean, like in the terms of like how for the last, I don't know, what has it been, like for the last 20 years almost, it seems we've gotten a Call of Duty. It's like we can
Every
go.
single year.
Yes, we can go 1 year in between those years. We can do that.
What'd be
That's
nice?
possible.
You know
Yeah.
what'd be nice? Let Call of Duty, what do they call it? Warzone. Let it breathe. Give it 5
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
Give us a crazy amount of time and then drop the next Call of Duty.
I
Is
don't know
that too
how
much?
realistic that is because I don't know how much money and how much time and how much resources go into that. Like, it might not necessarily be like You know, they're using these studios to keep up with the demand. They might be using these studios because that's the only way to keep the engine going the way it's going.
And see, that's why I feel like this is a
Because
win for
Destiny
me.
takes a
If
lot of resources. So
it
I don't
does,
know.
and you could sort of tell once Destiny went or Bungie went independent, where it was like there was a difference in what they were doing. They were happier, and I was happy for them. But you could tell there was just a difference in what they were doing. And well, I don't want to get into the whole Bungie thing, but like with this deal, that's why I think it could be a good thing, because now they have Microsoft backing. It's like, obviously Activision's a huge company. They got tons of money. They're doing whatever they're doing. But Microsoft money is different. Maybe they don't have to rely on a Call of Duty every single year for the rest of time. Maybe we can get some time to breathe. A year, maybe, God forbid, 2 years in between a Call of Duty. Who knows? But I don't know. That was just my hope for if this deal goes through. Now, if it doesn't go through, then it's like, I feel like that's good for me, because then maybe there's a small chance we get Xbox 360 Microsoft back, where they're a little bit more ruthless. Just a little bit more ruthless.
He said they're going to be like the angry. They're going to be angry and just start being like very, very aggressive because they had their Call of Duty thrown away from them.
Just show a little spark of something, like how Mass Effect was exclusive for I think it was, what was it, a year, 2 years?
Exclusives, man.
Well, it never came to PS3, I don't think, the original Mass Effect. But like,
yeah. But,
it's
but
like,
for me, I don't like the idea of exclusives. The reason
no,
why
I get that.
I was okay, why I was okay with Xbox doing what they're doing now is because up until now have had this good guy act that they've
Yeah,
felt obliged to maintain. If they can feel like they're slighted, and then someone inside gives them permission to be like, yo, I think now we have the moral high ground to just go ham, I think we all lose as gamers. Because if Microsoft decides to play the Sony game, I don't think anyone wins. I think we all lose, because if Microsoft starts money hatting everything, then everything is exclusive to the Xbox. But then Xbox doesn't properly manage studios when they make games. They don't properly. I don't know. For some reason, they don't know how to get things to work for their machines, like frames per second, release dates, etc., that PlayStation can do. If Microsoft takes all these games that potentially could launch on PlayStation, now they're exclusive to Xbox, not only will they do what Sony does now, which is money hat, I don't know, 50% of the great games. With the money they have, they could money hat 80% of the great games, 90% of they could force Sony to do what Nintendo does, but Nintendo already does it, where 90% of their best-selling games are their games, whereas with Sony, 10% of their best-selling games are their games. The rest is third party. So it wouldn't be great if all the third party that feeds Sony suddenly is exclusive, or most of the exclusive extra content is on Microsoft, is on Xbox. Sorry.
I have a question real quick.
yeah.
Let's say this deal gets blocked, and it's looking like that's most likely what's going to happen.
Yes.
What do you think Microsoft's response is? Because here's the thing. That 90 billion, they're not going to get all that back, but they're going to get the majority of it back. So
Fuck.
I think that a good portion of that's still going to go in the gaming industry. Like it might not be on an Activision, but I think there's a good amount of that's still going to get reinvested, because right now we're about to hit more and more inflation. That money is better spent on IP than it is chilling in a bank losing value. And I don't think Microsoft is just gonna sit there and be like, okay, we're gonna take the L. And then we've seen there's some pettiness with Microsoft right now. I feel like now they're like, okay, you wouldn't let us have Activision? Bet.
Watch
but
this.
yeah.
Hold my beer. Like,
Yeah.
Which
And
beer are we talking about? Is it Budweiser or Coors?
I don't drink
Which one are
beer,
we
so you
talking?
guys tell me.
yeah, I
My
don't partake.
probably Heineken on my end. Heineken.
God bless. How about
Yeah.
a Yingling? I remember Yinglings at like baseball games. But
There's a beer called the
I-
Yingling.
yeah, I remember the dude who would always go around at like PNC Park, Yingling, Yingling. He just screaming that. I don't know, but people used to drink it. I guess I don't know. But like
Okay.
to your point, Loke, I don't like what you're saying is totally valid. I don't want. And here's the thing: it doesn't really matter what I want. It's up to them what they do. But I
No,
don't
no. Well,
want.
we're on the show. We're on the show
Yeah.
to get your take. So
Yes.
we do
Yes.
want to know what you want.
I don't
Okay.
want the scenario you're suggesting is possible, and it is possible. I want the Xbox 360 scenario, like where I felt like there was a good balance of like, hey, this company is going to work with PlayStation, this company will work with Microsoft and
Yeah.
Xbox,
And this one will
where it's
go to
like,
Nintendo.
yes, it's like there's not like, hey, Microsoft is just now everything is everything, everything's over Xbox now. No.
Yeah.
But like as far as this whole Activision thing, like what you guys were saying earlier, like I don't see a scenario where if this falls through, Microsoft isn't like, okay, let's hash out a deal for Call of Duty. Like we're sorry the deal didn't work, but let's hash out a deal. Let's hash
You
out a
know
deal for what you do that isn't Call of Duty. What about Diablo? It's like
what happens? What happens if they're like, okay, instead of we'll let Call of Duty spawn off on its own. We want everything else. And
I mean,
we ain't gonna see. Here's the thing: like Microsoft needs IP, they're gonna get it regardless. I just don't know where they're gonna get it from.
yeah.
You know, you see with Netflix right now, like you can't start these kind of services because I do think that people aren't accepting, but we are going into a subscription war in the future. It's not now. It's not in the next 2 or 3 years. And I do think that Microsoft, Sony, all, and that's why they keep buying the stuff they're doing. That's why, you know, Google was trying to
Yeah.
do it because they
Yeah.
know that that's the end goal and that's where stuff's really going to start to pick up. And do you want to prepare for that now while IPs are just chilling around, or do you want to prepare for that when 10 companies own everything and you have to fight with everyone to get everything?
Look at what happened to
Yeah.
Netflix. They woke up when it was too late. Motherfuckers just pulling their shit off. Marvel, Paramount, everyone's just
That's
like, yo,
exactly what
give me
happened.
my stuff. Give me my stuff. Give me my stuff.
Because eventually what happened is these companies that were just leasing their stuff to Netflix for streaming, they started making their own streaming services. And then they needed
Yep.
that content that they leased out to Netflix. So the moment that contract was up, they're like, it's mine. Your soul is mine.
All
Yep.
right, we really need to move on from this topic, but real quick, I just want to read something that reiterates exactly my fear with Xbox kind of successfully making themselves out to be the victim and then reacting off of that. Mr. Giant Dark says Xbox should drop a bag to Square just to be petty or make Persona 6 exclusive to Xbox. So Xbox, if they were allowed to purchase this, would still be kind of coy, and they would continue to do what they're doing now, which is make deals with Sega and all these other studios and publishers to make sure that there's no exclusives on Sony that they're not getting, right? Because they know they're kind of reaching by purchasing Bethesda, and then they purchase freaking Activision, Blizzard, and whatever. Then they'd feel like, okay, maybe we shouldn't overdo it. But with if this comes tumbling all the way down, everyone's like, Xbox is dead. They're nothing. Then stuff like this will just pop up. Oh, Xbox bought Konami. Xbox bought Sega. Xbox bought X, Y, and Z, and then or worse, we won't know who they bought, but you start getting the stuff that Sony does. Suddenly, a ton of games getting announced, and for some reason, exclusive to Xbox. You're like, what the fuck?
But neither
Why?
that, not exclusive to Xbox, everywhere but PlayStation.
Oh Lord.
Mm,
Oh, okay. Before
tables
we
have
spend
turned.
another hour, before we start. That gets you excited, Ham Solo.
It was funny.
Oh Lord. All right.
Gets me excited.
Next, a little bit of some conspiracy theories, and then we can move on to the Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The FTC chair met UK antitrust officials last week, but did not talk deals. The Federal Trade Commission chair Lena Khan, also known as Xbox's final boss, met with the heads of other antitrust enforcers, including Britain's last week, but no mergers were discussed, according to an FTC official who spoke amid allegations of the FTC and UK working together to block Microsoft's bid for Activision. Lord Addict, is this a conspiracy theory? Are people stretching? Did they just meet for the sake of meeting as colleagues? Or did they sit down, hash out a strategy? How are we going to cut Phil Spencer's dick off?
Oh my god.
Jesus. Good lord.
Figuratively. Jesus. What is wrong with you guys?
No, what's wrong with you?
I didn't say that.
It's called an allegory. What happened? What happened?
You got the craziest
Jeez.
allegories, Loke. You're insane.
Yeah, you got
Lord Addict.
some
Hey,
turned up
hey.
allegories.
Lord Addict. Do you
Hmm.
do you think they met specifically to block the deal, or just a random, just bumped into each other, flew across the Atlantic, randomly bumped into each other in the UK?
It might have been one of those things where Microsoft's people reached out to them a month ago, and then Sony's like, "We're just gonna wait to the very last minute and make sure these people meet." Like, it's like, look, are you asking me? Is there some like conspiracy theory? I don't know, but what I will say is it wouldn't surprise me. You know, we see this. I mean, in America, it's legal. It's called lobbyists. So it's just like it is what it is. You know, you do what. Go ahead and vote the way I want you to vote, and I'll make sure you get elected next year. Like it sucks, and it should be illegal and everywhere, because I don't think you can freely vote on law having lobbyists walking around. But it is what it is, you know. How we gonna expect the people that get paid from lobbyists to outlaw lobbyists? It makes no sense to me.
That's a great point.
Man, let him cook. Let him cook. So for me, right, with this whole lobbyist thing, quick side note, my African point of view here. I've read so many news pieces on America sending a delegation to fight corruption in Namibia, Zimbabwe, all sorts of random countries in Africa. And then the day someone explained to me how lobbies work in America, I was like, wait a minute. Why are they coming here? They legalized it in their country. So anyway, that is just it's a funny thing for me that every time I hear lobbyists, I'm like, oh God, hypocrisy at its best. Anyway, so you wouldn't be surprised if they met specifically to discuss how they're gonna kneecap Xbox.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. You know, I would hope that we, things were done a little bit more clean. But as we've seen, life isn't clean, so it's hard to tell
No.
what was done.
Dirty.
Yeah,
People with
especially when
money
the
can get stuff
government,
done, man. Unfortunately, people with money can get stuff done.
especially when government's concerned. We'll probably find out in some documentary in like 15 years. Anyways, Ham.
And they'll still not go to jail.
Lord. Hell no. What? It's legal if the government does it. Anyway, Ham, do you think they met specifically to kneecap Xbox.
Are you kidding? Of course. What else do you want me to
Jeez,
say
not
about
even
that?
like, no, not even like maybe I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, dude, I'm putting money on it. They definitely meant to be like, yo, how can we screw these guys? For real?
Yes.
I don't even think it was a discussion how to. If it did happen, I don't think it was a discussion how to screw Phil Spencer
No, no,
over.
no, no.
It
It
was a
did. It did
discussion on.
happen.
Oh, but what I'm saying is a discussion on what's it gonna take for you to vote our way.
Oh. Damn. So okay, so you also sure they sat down specifically because of the Activision deal.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you can be the voice of
Yes.
reason, the
Yes.
outlier, the person that
Yes.
believes. Yes, what, dude? Let me
Yes,
think.
they're that's like obviously what that was happening there. Is them just getting together, discussing back and forth what we all think they're discussing back and forth. That's
You
kind
guys
of
don't
like
believe in your government?
what did they just go to see each other and hang out for a little bit?
Yeah,
They were just discussing what they're gonna eat for dinner.
Yeah, they just went out for
They
a quick
flew
lunch.
they flew over the Atlantic all the way from the US to the UK. If I'm not mistaken, that is 15 hours. Unless
Just
you're
to
on a
hang out,
Learjet or something. Yeah,
just
They
to
just
hang
just to
wanted
out,
that
hang
just have
out.
a
beer.
fun time,
They just wanted the beer.
just have a
Offshore.
fun time.
Yeah, but they
Definitely,
didn't talk
definitely not to
acquisition.
talk about this acquisition. Definitely not to do that. It's like, okay,
Hey,
all
And
right.
on that,
Casino, I see you in the chat. Be careful. You said, isn't Lena Khan
what
from the UK? Be careful. We had somebody,
yo,
Mhm.
or not on the show,
hey
we'll get into that,
yo.
but on Twitter, so
Would
Oh,
you like
be
to address
careful.
that? Would you like to address
I
Hey,
that?
mean, I don't
man.
know if you want to.
No,
That's what knows you want to say about that.
Does
maybe,
does anyone here
maybe later.
stand with Kids Move? Does anyone stand with Kids Move?
No, it's an emphatic no.
Right. You
Oh
see,
my
just
goodness.
straight
Kid,
to the point.
yeah, he says some really interesting stuff sometimes.
Interesting is a word. It is a word. All right.
It is
Done with the acquisition thing. Hopefully, we won't have to discuss this for a month. Please,
at
Yeah.
least, please, come on,
please.
give me a
See you
month,
next Friday, y'all.
All right.
right? Most likely.
Oh my lord.
Let's keep
Have
it
a
buck.
beautiful time. All
Mhm.
right. Okay. So, next we have Destiny animation, film, and TV head leaves Bungie. Tsai was acting as a senior development executive and head of Destiny Universe Transmedia at Bungie. During his time at the company, he helped develop ideas to expand Destiny into linear mediums. So animation, film, TV, books, comics, and drive long-term engagement with new and existing fans per his LinkedIn profile description. Lord Addict, are you worried that the senior development executive and head of Destiny Universe Transmedia has left Bungie?
Absolutely not. At this point, I'm just ready for Destiny to end. Like,
To
it's like
end?
yeah,
Why? What is
I
your
think it's ran its
problem with
course,
Destiny?
and I just want to see the conclusion of the game. And maybe that's their decision. Maybe after they've written the remainder of the Light versus Darkness saga, he was like, "I'm out. I want to do something different."
That's a fair point. It's a
I
fair
have a
point.
question. Lord Addict, why does Destiny need to end, but Call of Duty gets to march into Neverland?
Because Destiny is a story I'm actually relevant and I actually care about, and Call of Duty is like a bunch of different stories, and nothing's really connected. And I think that's the biggest thing is like I'm invested into the Destiny community, and I want them to, instead of dragging it out, I want them to give me a good conclusion. And I feel like the longer the franchise goes on, the less chance I have that of happening.
Mm. Okay, it's weird because usually if you love something, you want it to go on forever. So it's strange to see
I
someone
love
that loves Destiny, but you
I
don't want it to keep going.
I love The Walking Dead, and I felt like they started milking that.
Oh my
So
God.
Yeah.
that's my fear is they take such a fantastic, phenomenal game, and for the sake of money, instead of just closing that chapter of their life, they start just milking it and fluffing it, and then 3 or 4 years of that, people aren't going to talk about the good old days of Destiny.
Yeah.
They're going to say, "Dude,
Yeah.
this is remember." That's
Remember
what I meant to.
the member
Yeah, they're going
berries.
to talk about the golden age, like the actual golden
Remember
Destiny.
berry.
They're going to talk about it in real life. Like,
Remember? I remember. Oh Lord. Yeah, you know that's a very good point. And talking about the Walking Dead, guys, I think after Negan, that was it. That was the mwah.
Dude, the
That was
season
that
after
was their
Negan,
chance. That was their chance
this
to end it.
the whole season after Negan was one of the hardest seasons. Like every time you thought they won, they lost, and they kept losing worse than the last time. And the only time they won was like at the very end of the final episode of the season. I'm just like, that was hard to watch. That was
Yeah.
just soul crushing. That was a soul crushing season. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Is
R.I.P.
that
to the
show
Walking
over
Dead.
now? Because I gave up after
Yeah.
Negan. After Negan,
They
Yeah, I
had
think
their
it's
last
over.
season. Their last season
I
was
think
last year, I think.
Yeah. I think season 12, right?
Season 12, yeah.
Yeah, that
with
was the last one.
the way they killed my boy with the bat, bro.
God
Dude.
damn, that was
They
for
beat
me that was
the
peak
shit out of that man.
cinema.
That poor
Fellas,
kid.
They
fellas,
busted
I
his
promise
grape, and
you.
I was floored.
And
I
you
was
could
Just the
hear it.
way his eyeball,
You could,
his eyeball kind of popped out a bit, but it was
oh,
still kind of
dude,
alive. That was for me.
dude.
Listen, guys. I'm just being honest. For me, that was one of the greatest moments of TV, like TV shows. Period. Next to like Game of Thrones, Red Wedding. Right? I went into that episode like, nah, something's gonna happen. They're not gonna kill Glenn. This guy has almost died 12 times now. He's as untouchable as Rick. And then one,
Dude,
two, three.
they,
Oh my God. And then his brains are dripping from the
they,
bed.
they killed him. Like you said, his eye was popping out and he was trying to
Oh,
talk and shit. And I'm just like,
yes.
oh,
Yes. That
I
was
was
delicious.
terrible.
That was art.
I was like,
Fellas.
That was
his
That was
career's ruined. That's what I was thinking because no one's ever gonna look at that man the
he's just
Lucille. Yes. Yes. The bat had a name,
oh,
Lucille. That was perfect. And then when they put Negan into the best fighting game of all time, Tekken, I was like, dude, this is it. End the season after you beat Negan, and The Walking Dead will be goated forever. And then motherfuckers got greedy. They got greedy.
went on for an extra 3 seasons.
Yeah, yeah. Matt, are you worried that the guy in charge of creating the expanded Destiny universe has left?
Well, I mean, it's a little weird. I mean, I'm not personally worried, but it's a little weird considering, like, I thought they had, like, a whole thing planned for it. Like, I thought that was one of the reasons Sony bought them was because they
Yeah.
wanted to do, like, a lot of things with the Destiny. And maybe, like Lord Addict said, maybe he wrote all this stuff, maybe he got all of it done, and now
And then
he's
it
just,
bounced.
yeah, and then he bounced. That could be the case. So it's like, I'm not too worried. It's weird. It's some weird timing, but it is what it is. We'll see what it really means. But I would imagine they have something lined up,
Okay,
transmedia, movie, TV show.
so the weird thing is, for the other projects that Sony has, because Sony is now heavy into taking their video game stuff and adapting it, the people in similar positions haven't left.
But
So,
maybe those aren't done yet. Maybe
so
this
that's what's
one's done.
cute. Oh, really? Last of Us?
I don't know. I don't know.
Sure.
Well,
Ham Solo,
people have different specials. You know, they specialize
different
in different
cycles.
things. So for what an engineer can do is going to be different from what a narrative designer can do or a graphics designer. So I'm assuming, just because one person leaves and midway through the cycle doesn't necessarily mean they weren't done with their part or they were done with their part. It's one of those things where, people should really look forward to when, like, I remember when, like, people at Playground Games, or it was one of the studios and they made their own studio. They're like, oh, look at this bad. No, that's good. Because more developers making games is more games we get to play. Why do you care if they left a studio?
100%. 100%. That's like
Okay.
said the same thing when Jerry Hook left 343. Now he's doing his own thing with his own studio that he created. That's another game we get to play. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, I had an interview
Alright.
with that dude Jerry Hook. He went out and started up Jar Sparks Studio.
Jar Sparks
under the NetEase umbrella, and he's gonna be making console games. So, I mean, the more
Moist.
I think it's a great thing because this is now people that were really good at that risen themselves from lower end development to very high end, and now they're moving on to possibly their own studio or maybe a studio that's that maybe just different, just to maybe change their palette or whatever. I mean, as Addict said, it's just more opportunity for us to get to play new games, and then you got to think this is also giving others at these studios that have to recover after letting go, like a Joseph State and any of these other high tier names. These are giving opportunities for new people to create a name for themselves and come out there. I mean, we can't.
And Burnout,
I mean,
Burnout's a real thing.
Cliffy B ain't around forever, and all these Todd Howard ain't here forever. Like, I mean, what happens if a freak accident happens? Who's going to take over? You're going to end up loving somebody else's game eventually. So why stay super salty because somebody else? I mean, it does stink when it's like your favorite studio or something like that, and like the big guy leaves. But hey, I mean, if they're in good health and they're they left on a good note, like it's just like just be happy for them,
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, let us end on a good note. Star Wars Jedi Survivor launched earlier today.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor launched earlier on today. And
Sure
I'd like to get some impressions from you. First off, what are you did you play it, Lord Addict, or no?
Yeah. I was playing it actually right before the podcast. I enjoy
Same
it.
here.
One thing is I hate that it has the bugs it has because it's just like I wish these developers. Well, it's not really developers. The game would come out exactly how it's supposed to if it was up to them. A lot of the time, it's financial years. We need the game out by this. Unfortunately, that's just how it went, and it's just it's unfortunate because I do think that if this game had the time it needed, it would be a 90 plus on Metacritic right now.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Where are you playing? What console are you playing it on?
On the Series X.
Series X. Okay.
Smile, Luke. It's okay. Smile.
Whatever, dude. I also got it on the Series X. What?
I know. I know.
Then why do you look so disheveled, Loke? You look so upset.
You know what?
Luke just wishes he could put his bank details in for PlayStation.
Right? Wish PlayStation would acknowledge him.
Lord Addict.
It's not.
This is a running joke this is a running joke on TSWS Gaming. If you have an Xbox and you live in Africa, in any country besides South Africa, your banking details will not be accepted. So
You're
you
talking
have
about
to go to
you're talking about PlayStation.
well.
You just said Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
PlayStation.
On PlayStation, your banking details will not be accepted. So you are forced to go to third-party sites to get vouchers and
And they
run
stopped They
risks.
stopped selling those regularly too, didn't they?
What vouchers?
Yeah,
Codes.
the codes that you can buy like at Amazon and stuff. They started selling those in some retailers, so they're not like the easiest thing to even come across anymore.
And in Africa, we don't have Amazon. So we
Oh, wow.
depend entirely on either committing digital fraud or
Yeah.
committing digital fraud.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
on
Stick it to him,
Xbox,
Loke.
on Xbox, what happens is Xbox does this curious thing where they recognize that Africa is more than South Africa. So when you put in your details, obviously it can tell your location. It only gives you the option of South Africa. No matter where you are on the continent, it only gives you the option of South Africa for as far as African countries are concerned. But when you put in your bank details on an Xbox on the continent of Africa, it just works, to quote Todd Howard. Because and I got this specifically from someone in Microsoft, because this is another thing. You can add PlayStation 1,000 times. They won't even deem you viable to even send you a fuck off. They won't even block you. You're not even worth getting blocked. Whereas
Look,
with
can't get to the
Microsoft,
fourth tier. Look,
you
can't get
don't
to the
even
fourth
have to
tier.
ask.
You
You
know what
don't
they're
even
thinking?
have
They're
to.
thinking, you know what? We're if you try to go to your bank and back charge us, we're gonna block you anyway. So at least if you can't use your bank, we don't have to do that in the future anyway. So
Let's not even get into the refund policy. Let's not even get to the refund policy,
What
which
refund
is
policy?
almost non-existent.
About to
Point
say.
is, on Xbox, you don't even have to add these motherfuckers. You can just hashtag Xbox 1,000 times about something specifically, and suddenly, poof, like Houdini, someone that actually works at Microsoft, whether in South Africa, New Zealand, the US, or Europe, will jump into your DMs or will follow you, and then you'll follow back curiously, like, oh, who's this person? Because my DMs are blocked. If I follow back, I'm like, hey, what up? And then that person is like, hey, I'm so and so. I work for Microsoft. And then they give you a full explanation of what's going on, why they did this, why they did that, what they're working on, what you would like to see. And then lo and behold, suddenly Microsoft, this hurts. This hurts to even talk about. Seriously. I want to give you my money, PlayStation. I want to give you my money. Just take the money. Point is, on Microsoft,
Logan's down
you put in
bad.
the bank details. you put in the details on the Xbox. This motherfucker recognizes you're in Mozambique, which is in Africa. So, dude, it just works. Buy your games, pay your subscriptions. PlayStation, dude, go to these third-party sites, run the risk of you making one purchase and then 12 purchases happen, and then your card gets blocked. Then you need to get in touch with your bank. Then your bank tells you you're gonna have to go another 3 months without your card being active. So
Real story.
fun times. Fun
True story.
times.
PlayStation's really on top of it.
Where was I? I'm lost. Jedi Survivor. Matt, what are your thoughts on Jedi Survivor?
I think the game is very, very, very good. Very like a pretty big step up from Jedi Fallen Order, like a significant step up. I will say, however, told you before the show, I had something to say about this. This is the people took a shit on Cyberpunk when it launched. This game is functionally more broken than Cyberpunk,
No, fuck off.
and
That's a
I
lie.
don't. Dude, I'll tell you
That's
what.
a
I played
lie.
Cyberpunk start to finish at launch. All my issues were with that game was some frame drops and intense moments. Got into combat, a lot of
Where did
people
you
on
play
screen.
Cyberpunk? Where did you play Cyberpunk?
Xbox on my Xbox. This was before the
Which
patch and
Xbox?
everything.
Which
Series X.
Xbox?
Series X.
Oh,
Dang,
okay,
look at
fine,
some questions.
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
reason
this-
Cyberpunk got
fine.
so much got so much attack was because it was the previous gens. that
Yeah, the
got-
last
Yes,
gen was screwed.
because
The PC was
I
kind
got it
of
on the One
screwy
X.
too.
The so-called most powerful console on the planet. That shit was about to take
Yeah.
off in my lounge, and
Yeah.
on my screen,
can imagine.
the stuff I was looking at on my screen, and I took 3 days off from work. I
Yeah.
took vacation off for that shit. So
That's
no,
that's
don't come to
unfortunate.
me.
Well, look, I'm telling you right now, bud. I booted up Jedi Survivor last night. I played it first on my Series S because I made this video for it. I had no issues on Series S. Granted, it was 30 FPS. Don't love 30 FPS, but it is what it is. I had no issues with it on Series S. I booted up on Series X. I turned on performance mode. That shit felt like it was top, and like that was consistently 30 FPS is what it felt like. And sometimes it would spike up to 60 and then it would drop right back down. It was horrible. To the point where if I'm playing it on Series X, I just play it in quality mode now. I'll just play it in 30 FPS. Like I played on Series S before I was in here, before I joined.
Hold
because
on
it's
a
like,
minute, Matt.
dude,
Wait.
what's the difference?
Wait a minute.
What's the difference?
There's two options. One of the
Yeah.
options works perfectly.
What's that?
The performance mode is the one that doesn't work, correct?
The performance mode is it's not. I don't know why it's there. I don't know why it's there.
Quality mode is fine.
No, it's not.
Explain.
Okay, so quality mode on Series X, I often drop FPS. Like, and granted, I'm not Digital Foundry. I don't have access to like charts and numbers and everything, but just the eye test of what I can just see on my screen. I'm consistently dropping FPS on Series X. Not as bad as performance mode, mind you, but it's still very consistent.
Performance mode gets
It's like an
rough
issue.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's an issue. Whereas on Series S, it's 30 FPS, but I'm playing without VRR on my Series S, and it's not an issue. It's fine. So, dude, I know they put out a statement even before it launched, like, yeah, we're aware there's issues with this game. It's gonna need patches. I expected it to be rough. It way surpassed that expectation I had. And it sucks because, like Lord Addict said, if this game was polished, like it got an 86 right now. It's sitting at like an 86, 87. This game was polished. I think I predicted about a 94, I think, last week. I don't see why it couldn't hit that. I don't see why it could, like, that's not unfeasible. It's just not in the state to do that. It's not in the state to do that.
All right. At PetJu070, please check your DMs. I'm trying to sort out that issue we were talking about before. Welcome 108 Dragon says yes, Addict. It was performing all right. Oh, okay. So it was just you, bruv. It was just you. Superman said I refunded Jedi Survivor as soon as I started seeing that it was broken. It was a broken mess online. I had only pre-ordered a few hours before. Dorian Gray says Cyberpunk worked great on PC. Correct. It was a masterpiece on PC from day one. Superman says it was not ready for launch. Cyberpunk was fine at launch on PC. Jedi Survivor is the worst performing game I've experienced in recent memory. Midnight Suns and Avengers were trash at launch for me too. 94 is GOAT status. True. Also, Superman, did you try Last of Us on PC? Anyway, Ham, what are
People
your
are saying
thoughts
this is worse than that.
I don't.
Like
What?
a lot
on
worse.
PC? On PC.
Yeah, on PC, dude. I follow this chick PMS Jordan. I'm pretty sure Ham knows about her as well. I'm pretty sure he's probably seen her post too, where it's like she's consistent. The past 24 hours, this is by far the worst port she's ever seen to PC, and she bought Last of Us Day One. She bought it, and she talked about that too. It's like she says this is worse than the Last of Us port on PC by a good
Wow.
margin. And I've seen video of it, dude. People with 4090s can't get 60 FPS with a 4090. Your game is beyond broken.
Yeah, they were running it at like 750
768p.
Yeah,
768p.
768p. And couldn't
Dude,
get 60.
you're not getting 60
And was
FPS on a
standing
$2,000 graphics
still.
card.
It was standing still.
Your game's broken, man. It's insane. That's insane.
wild.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jump in here with your take on the time you've played Star Wars.
I haven't had issues like that on Xbox.
See, on Xbox, I haven't had issues nearly like that.
Yeah,
That's why I won't do that piece and stuff. I'm sorry, I won't do it.
Yep, and I mean, me and Matt have a friend that just doesn't stop chasing, just doesn't stop, and I love the guy, and he's and he's really smart, and he knows what he's doing when he like picks his pieces and parts to put together to his PC, but it's just like every time he just finishes getting this stuff put together, the next game he's looking forward to that comes out is just completely busted, and the best experience is on console, and the first thing I think of is Greg Miller.
Yeah.
That's the first, just thinking of somebody going, you fucking idiot. like that, I mean,
oh jeez.
But yeah, the experience I've had so far with Jedi Survivor, in the sense of like gameplay, how I've felt, it's been fantastic. I've had some moments where I've like been bitching or whatnot, but there's also a skill tree that I looked at and I'm like, oh, I'll probably get some of this stuff to be able to make my person more nimble and make the, some of the moves a little bit better and whatnot throughout the game. So I'm hesitant to like complain about like traversal or anything or just really any of the stuff, because there's a lot to upgrade and make your character more badass throughout the game. As for like performance, it was interesting. I tell you what, when you first turn on the game on Series X, and I remember because I did that and I was blown away, and then the exact same thing happened when Vinny got in the party. And he was like, what the hell is this difference between performance mode and quality mode? They showed the two pictures next to each other, and one looked like, not even kidding, like 480p. And the other one looked crisp. And it looked like the obvious answer is quality. Duh, right? But like,
yeah.
For me, I like to play games in performance mode if the option's there. So I kick it off on performance mode. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't look as bad as what they were talking about. But then the performance issues started kicking in.
Yeah.
And see, where I'm at on that is, these things could be fixed, what they're talking about, like within some patches and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I still don't believe the side-by-side that they gave me, because it was just so different. It was insane. But it's
Lord
probably
Addict.
the reality of it. But what's up, Lord Addict? You sound like you said something to say.
I said I was going to say that, especially on PC, it's probably like extremely bad.
Yeah.
But like people trying to like compare it to like Cyberpunk, I just don't agree with that terminology. Like Cyberpunk wasn't working on everything. Like I had glitches on Xbox. It was functional, but it was still really glitchy. It's just like
I couldn't see
this.
faces on my One X. There was no faces.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Like I guess, man, I don't know if Cog would want me to say this here.
Hey,
Yeah,
safe
screw it.
space.
This Sunday, we're going to be interviewing a dev from Respawn. So,
Oh,
might ask
Shit.
him.
All right.
that's
All right.
nice. So it's a big get.
I want to see that dev stutter, and then speak some legalese, and then politely go around it and move on with the show.
The part that I hate, see, people will, for the most part, if you're excited for the game, you'll ignore the bullshit as long as the game's good.
Right.
That's
Yes.
why Bethesda got so many
Yes.
passes for years. Up until
Yes.
Fallout 76, the fun factor outweighed the annoyance by far. But 76, there wasn't
Yeah.
shit to do. So
Yeah.
there was no fun factor. So all you had was
You're not
annoyance.
sliding with this one.
Yeah, so,
Yep.
Jedi Survivor, the only thing
Ooh.
I hate is this is a 90 plus Metacritic score game that got hammered justly and rightfully for
Yes.
its performance issues, and I'm just like, man, they would, they could have just, if they would have got the game
One more
delayed
month.
a couple months, and this game came out polished, they'd have had their first 90 plus game, and it sucked for the devs because I'm sure it's mainly on EA because they probably wanted it in that financial
Yep.
year. It sucks for them, but it's just like,
Yeah, I have to break some
yo,
hearts, guys.
yo, I'm gonna throw this in real quick. Yo, EA rolled over, or not EA, but Respawn rolled over today, stretched when they were getting out of bed, checked their phone, and they seen
Good.
there was a notification that said, Redfall says, good morning.
Guys, I completely disagree with that take, Am.
You're
Respawn and
you
EA.
want a broken 60? We don't want to do that to
No.
you. We'll make you wait.
Dude,
Am,
and I was thinking about this. Oh, go ahead, look.
EA and Respawn ain't sweating nothing. This game is selling and will sell
Yes,
like
it will.
hotcakes.
That's a
Even
fact.
if
It
this
absolutely
thing was rated a 75, these companies, the things they put up on the board, you will never see a Metacritic score in there. You won't see it.
Oh,
What you will
yeah.
see is units sold, microtransactions interacted with. That is all they're going to see. And this is Disney plus a sequel to a successful game.
and
This is dubs all around.
we might talk shit about the performance of the game, but in the logistics and the long term of things, I don't think it's going to miss a beat. I still think it's going to be mad successful. It's still going to sell millions and millions of copies.
It's going to sell more than
because
the
it's a
first
good
one.
game in its core. Now they
Yes.
got to get roasted for the damage they did to their own game. Because at this game, it's like I said, if this game was polished, not a doubt in my mind it'd be a 90 plus Metacritic.
Right.
And it'd be. And what's funny is even with these issues, it's gonna be there at the end of the year for Game of the Year. It's gonna be there.
So
More than likely. So
No,
I don't see how it's not.
Nah, Jeff
Ooh.
Keighley's not going to let that happen.
We got Redfall coming out Monday. What you guys' expectations with Redfall?
Whoa.
Well,
Whoa, settle down. Settle down. We're
well.
talking about Game of the Year, and then you
Glad
jump
you
to
asked.
Redfall?
Glad you asked.
No. I'm worried
Yes.
right now.
Addict over there
This guy-
smiling. He got that evil smile going down.
Addict first off says that Metal Gear Solid is a waste as a game.
Nobody
right?
why Gear
I'm
Solid.
still salty
Why are we
about
Nobody
back on
wants
Metal
to
And
hear.
then when we're
nobody.
talking about Game of the Year, the
I want
first
a
thing
game.
is not Spider-Man, it's not Final Fantasy, it's not Hogwarts Legacy, it's freaking
Loke. I'm not gonna do this to you
I didn't say anything about Game of the Year. I said, what do you guys think it's gonna do? Do you think it's gonna be? What do you think the reception's gonna be Monday?
it's gonna be alright.
I think the reception will be fine. But look, I could have that conversation with you off the show on why
What
I
about what?
think just Arcane and Redfall and Metal Gear and all that stuff.
All right, well, in the show.
But yeah, but
Well, I
but
gotta
like
hear this conversation.
it's just
We're
it's
short on
just
time. We're short
it's
on
just if he's
time.
saying specifically game of the year, I think of a game like Arcane makes, as opposed to a movie like Kojima makes. But that's neither here
Matt,
nor
I was
there.
talking about Spider-Man. I was talking.
Spider-Man.
You see the examples I brought up. I said Spider-Man 2. I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Huh?
You
I
said
said
Metal
Final
Gear though.
Fantasy. I said Final Fantasy Racist. Okay. I said Starfield. These are the games that I'm talking about for this year. All right.
Yeah.
So settle down.
All right, but you said
Um,
Metal Gear Solid. But to answer your question, Addict, I feel I'm very hyped. I'm an Arcane fanboy, so I'm very hyped
Yeah.
for that.
I have it
30 FPS is not
downloaded.
exciting.
I have it downloaded both on my Series X and my PC, so I'm ready to go.
Yes.
God.
Yep.
It was ridiculously slow download on the PC. Like it was
Yes, it was.
wild. It downloaded
Alright, we're
faster on
short
my
on time.
Steam Deck than it did on my PC.
Dude, my
and that
Steam
didn't make
Deck
any
took
sense.
like 6 hours to download that thing. That was terrible.
Right. I haven't downloaded Redfall. I plan on doing it eventually, but right now I'm playing the greatness that is Cyberpunk, and I just got the collector's, or not the deluxe edition of Jedi Fallen, Jedi Survivor. So until I finish one of those two, I'm not gonna jump into Redfall. As soon as I
Lo,
finish
you
one of those two,
You better
I'm
shut
I'm
up, Lo.
definitely. No, that was a slip of the tongue. As soon as I'm done
Oh
with one of
yeah.
those two, I'm gonna download
I'm
Redfall,
buying it.
because before that gameplay that everyone was making fun of, I was making fun of Redfall. After I saw the gameplay, which is weird, I'm a weird person. When I saw the gameplay, I was like, I like that. I want that. So go
Did you
figure.
guys see the Did you guys see the launch trailer for that game for Redfall the other day? Yesterday?
Nope. I
Dude,
didn't.
that's the
No.
best. That is the best trailer they've had for that game. Period, by far. And the music's great too. Great trailer. Check it out.
All right. We're done with the main news, so we now have to do the quiz, because this is the new order that we're doing. The quiz is not coming last; it's coming right after the main topics. Lord Addict, the quiz is: I will make a statement, a blanket statement. No, not a blanket statement. I will just make a statement,
He's
right?
even confused.
And then I will say true or false at the end.
Okay.
And then I need you to say true or false. Okay? Simple enough?
Mm-hmm. That's
You
usually
take
At
a
the end
long
of
time to describe that. Hey, this
you've
is a
been
true or
playing,
false questionnaire.
you've been paying attention to the chat, right?
not really.
Okay. Well, if you win,
True.
you need to pick someone. You need to pick someone in the chat to win the $10, €10, 10 whatever voucher on Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. Okay?
108 Dragon. That's what I'm gonna pick.
All right then. 108 Dragon is rooting for you from the beginning. Let's start. Hold on, let me finish the Excel. Okay, here we go. Lord Addict. Redfall was originally planned to be released in 2021. True or false?
True.
False. 2022. Then it got delayed
Okay.
to this year. Ham Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Redfall will now be launching on the 3rd of May 2023. True or false?
False.
Correct. It's the 2nd of May. Matt Likes Games. Redfall will
Yep.
be locked at 4K 30 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S consoles at launch, according to Bethesda's official announcement. True or false?
False. False.
Correct. The Series S will be
1440p.
1440p, 30 FPS. Addict. Redfall has 5 main protagonists at launch.
False.
True or false?
Got 4.
Correct. All right. Ham Solo. Layla Ellison has an afro and telekinetic powers. True or false?
False.
True.
Wait, what
Ma-
did you say though? I was gonna ask you to repeat it, but I wasn't sure if we could do that.
Layla Ellison has an afro and telekinetic powers.
You call that an afro?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
I love Luke's answer. Yeah. Yeah.
Matt
I don't
likes
call that an
games.
afro though, but okay.
Yes.
God.
Matt likes games. Redfall's campaign can be completed in its entirety in single player. True or false?
Yes, true.
Correct. Lord Addict. Redfall launches exclusively on current gen Xbox consoles. True or false?
True.
Correct. Ham Solo. Redfall is set in a post-apocalyptic town named Redfall in Pennsylvania. True or false?
True.
False. It's Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Whatever, man. You know where it
I
is.
thought it was
Mass-
Pennsylvania, but I guess I'm wrong. Damn.
No, it's
Massachusetts.
Yeah, yes, massive two shits. That's what it is.
Let's go.
Jeez. Matt, this is
Yeah.
for the lead. There will be multiple endings in Redfall. True or false?
I don't even know, but I'm going to say true because it's arcane.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lord Addict. Cal Kestis is invulnerable when accessing the holomap in Jedi Survivor. True or false?
He's invulnerable, like the screen pauses. Yeah.
Invulnerable as in he cannot be damaged.
I say false.
Correct. Ham Solo. Some of Cal Kestis's beard options allow you to customize the length of his stubble. True or false?
True.
Correct. Someone's
Yeah,
been playing
man,
the
because
game.
I gave Cal Kestis a mullet and a long beard and told everybody that he got his mantis built in the USA.
Yeah.
If you could put a flag on
It's
it,
like Danny
you would
McBride.
probably do it. You would probably put a flag on the Mantis, Ham Solo. I could see it. Lord. All right, Matt.
Yeah.
As you progress through, sorry, my bad. There's the wrong question. The dialogue options in Jedi Survivor affect the outcomes of their active conversations, but not the ending of the game. True or false?
That is true.
That is false.
Oh,
The
wow.
dialogue
Interesting.
options don't affect conversations.
Oh, so they don't affect the end of the game either.
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's just aesthetic. Okay, so we have a close one. When the last round of questions, Lord Addict is on 3, Ham Solo 2, Matt is also on 3. Lord Addict might become our first guest to win in like 4 weeks. Jesus.
Since
A
I was a
month.
guest.
A month.
Stop.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be a minute.
Really?
Ham. This is to draw to draw, nah? With
Okay.
Addict and Matt. Jedi
Draw
Survivor
level, not
Deluxe.
honor.
Sure. Jedi Survivor Deluxe Edition costs $89.99 US right now. True or false?
So you're saying the deluxe edition costs that much? Or so repeat the question.
That's not for you, Addict.
It's
That's for
for
Ham
me.
Solo.
Oh.
Oh
Jedi
shoot!
Survivor, Ham Solo.
I
Jedi
heard you.
Survivor.
I heard the question. I don't need you to repeat it. Shut up.
All right then. All right then. Hey, I like the sound of my voice. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say because I don't know. I just bought the regular edition for $70, so I'm gonna say
Brokey.
I'm gonna say false.
It's true.
Damn it,
Dude, if I
I
bought
don't.
it, it's not that expensive.
What's funny is the review
Oh,
copy. It was the deluxe edition, but I didn't see the price. So
good Lord. Enjoy. That's a lot of privilege. I'm just saying. All right, Addict and Matt.
Yeah.
This is for the dub. Addict, you go first. Lord Addict, you go first. Jedi Survivor base price on the Xbox One is $70. True or false?
So the base price on the Xbox One
is $70 US. True or false?
I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like you're trying to get me to. I don't know if it's on the original Xbox. I'm just go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say false.
I almost had you. That's true.
Oh,
It's true. No, it's false. Sorry. You got it correct. All right, Matt.
I wish I had that one. Damn it. All right. Yeah.
Well, I thought to myself, even if it is on the Xbox One, I know it's 60. So,
Yeah.
so
Why would it be
it's
70?
either you're trying to trick me, and the question's still right. So, but I thought you would say no, it's not on there, so it's 0. Like, I didn't know if it was on there.
We're not
I haven't
having.
paid
We're not
attention to
having.
the original Xbox One in forever. So,
I don't think anyone's paid attention to it. I don't think Xbox has paid attention to the Xbox One. We're not having Lord Addict back again because this guy. What the hell? 4 out of 5? Who does this on their
I
first
would
try?
have got the first one, but I thought you said when it was announced, not.
Man, well, I'm glad you slipped on that one. Matt,
Give me another
this is for
Redfall
you.
question.
No, we're done with Redfall. Now it's just
Damn
Jedi
it.
Survivor, and this one's
All right.
gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy.
Okay.
Matt, the
not
official
too hard of a
Jedi
question.
Survivor final trailer on YouTube currently has over 5 million views. True or false?
True. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. It's
I don't
just
know
over
that. That's not an
2.5.
easy question. Unless I look
It's
it up,
just
that's
over-
not an easy question.
It's just over 2.5. So Lord
Okay.
Addict
Just
wins.
lost too. So
I could have just cheated, but I didn't. I didn't though.
Yeah,
I love how you said
So,
it was easy and then gave you just the most
Yeah.
random.
yeah.
It's not a
God.
Come on,
problem.
guys. Everyone knows I'm the final boss. It's not
Oh,
Lena
we
Khan.
know.
It's not
We
the
know.
FTC. It's me.
We know.
Lord Addict. Actually, let me add you here. The last guest we had that won was Cult Classic Cage. So well done on this one. That means we need to get you back on for the final quiz of the year 2023. If you're okay with
Okay.
that.
just tell me whenever it is.
Oh yeah. All right. We're gonna round up all the champions. It's gonna be like a marathon of just video game quiz stuff.
Oh my god, that sounds
Lord
awful.
Addict. It sounds fantastic for me. Everyone's just gonna be squirming. I might be squirming when Lord Addict has to answer questions because this dude is calm. He's thinking. He's doing these little chess moves. Like,
He's
okay,
probably
this is
playing
a
a video
trick
game.
question, and he's not panicking.
Yeah.
No, he's like, dude, this is a trick question. He's identifying the trick question when it shows up. That's not supposed to happen. Anyways, Lord Addict, because you won, you get 1 minute to rant about whatever you want to talk about in video games.
Well,
Also,
the
you have to
biggest.
pick someone. You already picked 108 Dragon. So 108 Dragon, hop over to TSWS Gaming on Twitter, DM us, and we'll hook you up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think
Lord
the
Addict.
biggest thing I'm annoyed with the industry right now is just I feel like there's a lot of stuff to play, but there's not like really, really, really good games. Like, and maybe it's because 2022 I felt was lacking in that area. But Jedi, I think it's scratching that itch.
Short
I would agree
and
with
to the
that.
point. Okay, Roger. Now we do game predictions. So what we do, Lord Addict, in this section, we predict the Metacritic score, the best Metacritic score for a game that's coming out next week. There's only one significant game coming out next week, so that's Redfall.
I don't think
May
You're
2nd.
damn right. You're
May
damn
2nd.
right.
Okay, dude. We get it. May 2nd.
You better get it.
On the
You better get it, Loke. I'm just letting you know.
Download. He's telling you to download and play it day one.
Right?
no. Cyberpunk,
Good.
Jedi Survivor. Anyway,
I'm telling you,
Xbox
back burner.
it's coming out on Xbox Series X and PC. Ham Solo, what is the score that you predict? No, sorry, Lord Addict. What's the score that you predict?
I go last.
No, you wanna go last?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Ham Solo, what's the score that you predict for Redfall?
I'm gonna say 83.
Okay,
I like it.
reasonable. Mad likes games. No trolling. Please, no trolling.
No, I'm being dead serious about this because it's 100% what I feel is going to happen. I think it's in that range. I'm going to go 82.
You
Okay,
piece of
there
shit.
we go. Lord Addict, what's the score?
77.
77. Okay. So game results from the results from last week. Matt Likes Games won again.
I mean,
predicted
as
he
usual.
predicted 86 for Live a Live, and the game got an 84. He was the closest to the
I don't even know
score.
what that is.
It's
It's an
yeah,
RPG. It's like
it's an RPG.
Octopath Traveler.
Oh.
I reviewed it for the Switch.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Who was the
And
closest for
then
Jedi
Matt-
Survivor?
Hold on. Matt also predicted correctly Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. He said 88. The score was 91. He was the closest. And then Jedi Survivor Ham Solo not only got it correct, he hit the nail on the head. Perfect score. He said 87, and the highest current score, which is an Xbox score, curious, is 87.
Right.
So Ham got 1, but it was 3 games, and Matt got 2. So on the year, Matt's got 4 correct predictions. Sour Blow 18 has 1.
Fine.
Mr. Joanna Dark has 1. Cozy and Ham still have bagels. All right. It's time for the last point. This is going to offend people.
Let's
But
go.
before we do the last point, Lord Addict, can you please plug your stuff? Tell us where you're gonna be. Tell us what you're up to. Tell us where we can find you, etc., etc.
You can find me on YouTube at Gaming Addict. I've been posting a lot of content there lately. Even if you like it, you don't like it, it's still going up. I'm on every Sunday at 1 p.m. the Iron Lords podcast. Me, Cognito, King, and Solve. We talk about pretty much everything gaming. And I do the Addict show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. where me and Dirt, we just go over stuff that's going on that week. I try to make that show different from IOP, unless it's like a big topic. I don't like talking about the same topics on that. So
Okay.
All right.
yeah, you can find me on
Thank you.
Twitter at Lord Addict IOP. That's all.
Awesome. Y'all make sure to follow him and smash the like button on his channel. The way you guys always smash the like button on ours. and follow his stuff. Stanley Francois, welcome. Hey, Sarge, welcome, bruv. Welcome. Superman says, Loke always ends the show with a Bible verse. No, today it's not going to be a Bible verse. Today it's going to be the Satanic Bible at the very
Oh
least.
my
So,
god.
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh no. It's not
Okay,
good.
so last point. I feel like Bill Burr when he references women clearly not supporting the WNBA when it comes to this Jedi Survivor thing. Essentially, for anyone that doesn't know, women in general complain online terminally about how the WNBA players don't get paid enough, but they don't watch the WNBA. So what happens? The people that decide where the money goes put billions and billions into Kim Kardashian's lips, her face, her body parts, etc. But they don't put money for people like Brittany Griner. So the max player in the WNBA makes like, I don't know, $200,000 a year. When
That's
the
still a very
the
good living too, may I add.
yeah, but the 15th
Pretty
guy
solid.
on the NBA, the 15th guy on the NBA, we don't even know his name. This guy is a millionaire. Why? Because people chose to watch the NBA before it had value, and because the eyeballs that were already there, value was added from the people that recognized the eyeballs on it. So I choose to support single AAA games that are incomplete, like Jedi Survivor. I know it sounds crazy, but the same way that women should support a clearly inferior product in the WNBA in the short term to someday hope to have a product even half as good as the NBA with players paid enough to be millionaires, I'll support efforts like Jedi Survivor because dollars to butt cheeks numbers are all these corporations listen to. Mobile games are dominating, not because of their breathtaking art design. No suits are pissing themselves at how sumptuous the gameplay loops are. None of them have ever won Game of the Year at Jeff Keighley's annual self-aggrandizing therapy session. Dollars are what decide what projects get greenlit and redlit. I'm old enough to remember when EA was like, single player games are dead. And then as
Yeah.
soon as all their multiplayer games bombed, what happened? They did a neat little Fast and Furious U-turn, and suddenly you've got the spaceship single player game, you've got the sequel to Jedi Survivor, and they're talking about another single player game that they're working on. Suddenly single player is banging. Why? Because of money. So judge me if you want. I'm gonna be here supporting these boring ass layups the same way the women should be supporting the boring ass layups in the WNBA to add value in the name of drip feeding single player games coming my direction. So I bought Jedi Survivor. I don't regret it, and I'm gonna buy other games that I like it because I want to keep giving positive reinforcement to the guys at the top that sign these things off. Thank you for listening.